Well, I'm Marnic Meeuse from Holland, and I think in autocross most people know me from my photograph, from still photo, and a lot of people know me from my design work from car science, where I design cars and apply on the cars. And a lot of people may know me from Autocross Nederland, Dutch website with a lot of autocross information from the Netherlands. It starts a long time ago. My father drove autocross, and that was 45 years ago. I'm 45 years old, and I think from I was age 2 or 3, I went with him to autocross. So I know autocross now, more than 40 years. And when I was 11, 12, I think I stepped beside after the steering wheel of my father's car. And he was driving another car, and he was like, "Hey, where is my car going?" And I was like, "Hey." So from young of age, I don't know anything else. Of course, I played soccer and other sports, but autocross was always part of the family. So when I was 18, I started racing myself. But then in 2005, a good friend of mine became Dutch champion in Holland. And in the last race, he asked me, "Oh, you want to come? And it's a party." And I said, "Okay, I bring my camera. Maybe I can take a nice shot for you." And that was the one mistake I made. And from that moment, so there was 2005, only one race. And in 2006, I was doing the whole Dutch championship. I went to Nova Parka, I went to Majora, and I was lost. So yeah, the story continues. Let's say for my work, if I need some good photos or photography, I do it myself for my clients outside of autosport. But in autosport, of course, I started in autocross, and that is where my heart is. I have a very good friend of mine who is a photographer in a Dutch Supercar Challenge, with on the circuit from Zandvoort and Assen and in Spa. And he took me sometimes to races of the championship. So I went to the circuits quite sometimes. I also went with him to the 24 hours of Zolder a couple of years ago, and I also went with him with the 24 hours of Dubai. That was perfect. So yeah, that was nice trips, but the tarmac races, like I said, the circuit races, I like it, but it's not. Focus is autocross. Good photo has to do. It has to move you. You must, in my opinion, you must take a look at a shot, and if you see it once and you're like, "Oh yeah, I saw it. It's okay," then it's not a good photo. I think you have to look at a photo and you say, "Hey, that's good, that's good, that's good." And it's motion, action, the atmosphere, something in the picture that makes it special. If I went in Zelo or in San Igny or St. George, I want to see in a picture where I am. I want to see the whole shot. I want to see the atmosphere. Where is it? And in Zelo, for my opinion, are the two big apartment buildings. It's very typical of Zelo. And in San Igny, if you stand low, you can see a lot of crowd. And in St. George, up on the mountain, and every track has its own special place where you can see the atmosphere. And that's what I like about a photo. Before every race, I look at the track and imagine myself, what kind of picture do I want? So free practice, I go there. First time practice, I go there. Second time practice, I go there. And then at the end of the weekend, I want a complete set with all type of different photos for my clients. And then every client his own set. So you don't only have the car, but you also have the driver, you have the crowd, you have the maybe mechanics if it's possible to do. You go to that tent where they repair the car or stuff like that. And in that way, I make a kind of game plan in my head. So from Saturday morning till Sunday at the end of the day, that's the time that I have. That's the races that I have. So what can I do to make it a perfect couple set of photos? It's not one memory. There's a lot of memories. When I was 2009, Glenn van Rosmalen, the Dutchman, was gonna be a champion that year in super buggy. That was special to be there and to be part of it as a photographer. Then you see the whole emotions, what happens at that moment, and stuff like that. It's that's what I like about the sport. And that was also in 2011, a good friend of mine, Rob Verkuringen, went for his first year in European Championship, and we drove to Portugal for SCOA, and first race of now second race, and he comes on the podium, third place, and that's emotions. No, there was no Dutchman who ever went to the podium in touring class. So that's memories. Yeah, that makes it special. And after last year, Dutch guy Bart van de Putten went champion. Yeah, that's first junior buggy ever championship. That are things to remember. You'll be part of it, and that makes it special. Normally, I must say every photo, because I hope that's a joke, of course. Every photo, you have always photos that bring something extra with them. I have a photo here on my office that reminds me of the 24 hours in Dubai I went in 2015, and it's nothing to autocross, but it's an emotion with this part of it, and I think maybe you got it in the movie, but. It tells a story for me. That was 5 o'clock in the night, and you're very tired from that morning. From 8 o'clock, I think we are already awake, so almost 24 hours, and we still had to go till that night, because that night went our plane. So it was basically for us at 5 o'clock in the night. It was like, okay, we almost have to go 24 hours again before we get home. So the race is then, it's madness. But the photo tells for me a story, a completely empty racetrack, only race cars. The grandstand is completely empty. You see cars coming from the back of the circuit, coming with the lights, come to you, and the other end they go from you. And if you look at the photo, then it's, you see no photos, but you see only lights and then an empty grandstand. It's just the atmosphere for me that makes it perfect. But there's a lot of photos in autocross that can have the same feeling, but that is like so huge in the middle of the night that it makes it special. It happens quite sometimes, almost every race, that you take a picture and you think, whoa, that's special. And it's always when I put it online, there's always going to be somebody who says, hey, how did you do that? Or how did it happen? And it's just a surprise. And of course, I have a game plan in my head for my clients, but it's not so that all the other drivers I don't see. I also take pictures of them, and sometimes something happened, and then you take the picture, or you see something like, what the hell was that? And then you're like, oh, I have to have that. Then something nice happens when you put it online, and then the reactions come, and like, how did you do that? Or sometimes my clients say, I want something like that. And then it starts to remind you that you have to be creative, not only for your clients, but for all the people. You must not be blind for the other drivers, otherwise you don't see their emotions again. For example, Ben Stube this year, of course not this year, but last year he went for the 10 times European Championship, and that is huge. Nobody did it ever before. And Bernd is not my client, but it's through the years you know him, and it's just a good friend, and then it's okay. But always you have to take pictures. In Serov, I took a picture of him. He won, and he went cheering to his wife and his little daughter. And I have a picture of him with his hands wide, and then through his arms I see his wife and his daughter. And that are the moments when I think, hey, that's good. If all the photographers stand there, I go there. It's like the same. I don't know if you ever been to Nova Parka, but the podium is in the middle of down, and all the photographers are shooting at the podium, and then all the crowd is there. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. So last year they won there, and he's going to stand up on his car, Benstuber, and all the photographers were shooting at him at the front, and I ran around him and I took a photo from the back. So I have him cheering with all the crowd in the back, and that's what I say from it's quick thinking, and then just turn around and try to do something different. Well, I'd like to thank all my sponsors of the last years, and I hope that they will be here also next year. Of course, my clients, and yeah, I think my wife and my kids. If they all let me every weekend go to all the races, so yeah, that's a really big support when I'm on the road.